It's Monday, December 1st.
So this is not just about ending a war. This is about ending a war in a way that creates a mechanism and a way forward.
U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says talks with Ukrainian officials were productive. That's as American officials travel to Moscow for talks with Russian President Vladimir Putin tomorrow.
And Pete said he did not want them. He didn't even know what people were talking about. So we'll look into it. But no, I wouldn't have wanted that, not a second strike.
The U.S. now facing questions about a second missile strike on a vessel suspected of smuggling drugs into the Caribbean Sea as tensions with Venezuela grow.
These are all issues that I think we're now basically abandoning.
As Canada plans to cut funding for the UN's program fighting AIDS, tuberculosis, and malaria, one former government official is calling to reverse course.
Trying to find a path forward, trying to de-escalate tensions with our neighbors, trying to understand their concerns, what they would like to do, and I really hope they do the same for us.
A change in tune. BC Premier David Eby, who was against a new pipeline going through his province, now says he'd be open to the idea under certain conditions. Stay with us, Canada. Your morning starts right now. Good morning, Canada. Welcome to Your Morning. I'm Anne-Marie Mediwake.
Good morning. I'm Lindsey Deluce.
And I'm Kelsey McEwen. Happy December.
Can we just take a look at the Christmas trees?
It's beautiful in here this morning.
It's like a forest.
It is like
I love
a forest.
I like it. We got our tree this weekend. This is the earliest it's ever happened. I don't know what's happening this
Do you
year.
guys go to a place to get it, or do you go cut it down?
No, we go to a place.
You go to a place
I
to
want
get
to
it?
go cut it down, but the kids are so into this tradition of this one place we go to, Fiesta Farms in Toronto.
I love it.
Which we ran into everybody. Apparently everyone was getting their tree
Amazing.
on Saturday. Yeah.
How do you know when it's like all wrapped already?
Somebody called it Christmas tree roulette.
It is.
It's not, these aren't wrapped.
Okay, so you see it.
You
okay.
see it.
Okay, nice.
And you can get them wrapped if you want to.
Amazing.
But the tree looks great.
Good.
Walker's already trimmed the bottom so that all the presents can go there. It's like Mr. Christmas is
I like a
graphic.
man who is forward thinking.
Oh, absolutely. All right, we got a forward thinking, get into news right now. We're going to start with U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio saying weekend talks on ending the war in Ukraine have been productive, but more work needs to be done.
We continue to be realistic about how difficult this is, but optimistic, particularly given the fact that as we've made progress, I think there's a shared vision here that this is not just about ending the war, which is very important. It is about securing Ukraine's future. We can control.
The head of Ukraine's delegation says Sunday's meeting was to address security, prosperity, and how to rebuild Ukraine while preventing Russian aggression. Marco Rubio met with Ukrainian negotiators last week in Geneva to revise an initial blueprint on ending the war. According to the Kremlin, the head of the U.S. envoy, Steve Witkoff, is scheduled to visit Moscow for talks with President Vladimir Putin tomorrow. Sunday's meeting comes as at least 6 people were killed and dozens of people injured in Russian attacks across Ukraine. Meanwhile, U.S. President Donald Trump has now confirmed that he has spoken with Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro as tension grows between the two countries.
The New York Times reported that you had a phone call with Maduro. Did you?
I don't want to comment on it. The answer is yes.
And can you tell us a little bit
No,
about
I can't
it?
do that.
Mr. President, would you say it went well?
I wouldn't say it went well or badly. It was a phone call, yeah.
Comes after the U.S. expanded its military presence in the Caribbean. The U.S. has carried out a series of lethal strikes on suspected drug smuggling boats in international waters off the coasts of Venezuela and Colombia. The U.S. calls it, quote, an anti-narcotics operation and says it is acting in self-defense by destroying boats carrying illicit drugs to the U.S. More than 80 people have been killed since early September. And now U.S. lawmakers are pressing the Trump administration for answers after there were reports that a follow-up strike was ordered to kill survivors of an initial attack. Venezuela's National Assembly is condemning the boat strikes and has vowed to carry out a, quote, rigorous and thorough investigation into accusations of this second attack. There's a growing call for Canada to reverse its planned cuts to foreign aid.
Because we thought the best way of providing security for Canada is to make sure that the rest of the world has more stability, more equality, ability to fight climate, to support health.
Former Minister of Foreign Affairs Lloyd Axworthy is one of the people calling on the government to reverse planned cuts to the Global Fund, which is a major program for fighting AIDS, tuberculosis, and malaria. Current Foreign Affairs Minister Anita Anand says Canada's pledge to the Global Fund remains meaningful, despite a 17% funding cut. The federal budget is calling for $2.7 billion worth of cuts to foreign aid over 4 years. BC's premier appears to be budging on a plan to build a new pipeline across the province after saying it would never happen just, a few days ago. Premier David Eby is now saying he is open to the idea under certain conditions.
If we can agree that the oil tanker ban is going to stay in place, then let's have those conversations. I think that would make life a lot better and easier in British Columbia in terms of our relationship with coastal First Nations. And would definitely take down the temperature.
Prime Minister Mark Carney and Alberta Premier Danielle Smith signed an energy cooperation agreement last week outlining the conditions needed for a new oil pipeline to the Pacific to go ahead. So in this memorandum of understanding, Alberta agreed to negotiate an industrial carbon pricing agreement by April 2026. In turn, the federal Liberals have agreed to suspend the clean electricity regulations in the province, to not implement the oil and gas emissions cap, and, if required, make an exemption to the federal tanker ban. Premier Eby says his main concern is over the oil tanker ban. He says if it stays in place, then he's willing to have more conversations. A controversial construction project in Ottawa is expected to get underway this week. And while some people in the community are excited about it, other people worry it won't be worth it.
It's going to cost a fortune. And, if it doesn't work out, we're on the hook. And we live on Fifth Avenue. The traffic, we can hardly back out of our driveway on a Saturday now. I can't even imagine what it's going to be when there are those, that many more apartment buildings.
Lindsay Carter has lived in the area near Lansdowne for about 20 years, but now she says she's thinking about moving because of the redevelopment project. It's called Lansdowne 2.0, and it comes with a $418 million price tag. The City of Ottawa says construction starts this week, with the first phase of the project focusing on the new event center. The project also includes a new event center to replace TD Place Arena, new Northside stands for TD Place Stadium, and 2 residential towers with 770 units for condos. Construction of the new event center is expected to be done by 2026, with work on the Northside stands scheduled to be finished by 2030. There's a broccoli recall to let you know about. The brand of broccoli florets, which has been sold in 6 provinces. It looks like this. It is being recalled because of possible salmonella contamination. The Canadian Food Inspection Agency says the Your Fresh Market product, it was distributed in New Brunswick, Newfoundland and Labrador, Nova Scotia, Ontario, PEI, and Quebec. The agency is urging people not to eat, sell, or serve the broccoli because it can make you sick. No illnesses have been linked to it yet, but the investigation is ongoing, which may lead to additional recalls. Emergency services students in Timmins climbed a whole lot of stairs to give children a brighter holiday season.
But what we've noticed in the past is a lot of the toys that people donate are for little ones.
So it's nice that we have an opportunity to raise money for, slightly older kids that don't have the same opportunity.
Yes, the difference with this toy drive is that the toys are for children over the age of 12. Dozens of students and faculty representing Northern College's Emergency Services program took part in this. The event is in support of the annual Timmins and District Victim Services Annual Toy Drive.